In Greek and Roman mythology, goddesses embodied the most formidable cosmic forces. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and warfare, symbolized strategic intellect and justice. Artemis, the huntress, represented independence and nature's untamed power. Hera, queen of the gods, epitomized sovereignty and marital authority. These deities were not just divine figures but reflections of societal values. Athena's armor mirrored Athens' military pride, while Hera's throne echoed patriarchal hierarchies. Their stories reveal how ancient cultures revered and sometimes feared female divinity. Mythology often portrayed women as paradoxical figures, both destructive and redemptive. Pandora, whose curiosity unleashed evils into the world, became a cautionary tale about female curiosity. Medusa, once a priestess turned monster, symbolized the peril of unchecked female rage. Yet Demeter, goddess of harvest, embodied maternal devotion, her grief over Persephone explaining seasons. This duality reflected societal ambivalence. Women as life-givers, yet potential threats. The myths warned against transgression while celebrating nurturing roles, encapsulating ancient gender anxieties. Some women shattered mythological stereotypes through sheer agency. Atalanta, the swift huntress, refused marriage unless suitors outran her, a challenge to patriarchal norms. Arachne, a mortal weaver, dared to rival Athena, her tapestry depicting God's flaws. Though punished, Arachne became a spider. Her defiance underscored artistic courage. These stories were rare but pivotal, showcasing women who rejected passive roles. Atalanta's races and Arachne's loom became symbols of resistance, questioning the era's rigid gender expectations. Many mythological women were tragic victims of divine or male whims. Iphigenia, sacrificed by her father Agamemnon to appease Artemis, symbolized the brutality of war and filial betrayal. Cassandra, gifted with prophecy but cursed to be disbelieved, foresaw Troy's fall yet was powerless, a metaphor for silenced female voices. Their stories highlighted the precariousness of women's autonomy in a world where gods and men dictated fate. These narratives served as grim reminders of vulnerability in a hierarchical society. Marriage defined many mythological women's roles. Hera, despite her power, was perpetually thwarted by Zeus's infidelities, a commentary on marital strife. Penelope, weaving and unweaving a shroud to delay suitors, became an icon of wifely loyalty. Helen's abduction, however, spun the Trojan War, framing her as both victim and catalyst. These tales exposed societal expectations, wives as loyal anchors, Penelope, or destabilizers, Helen. Marriage was a lens to examine virtue, agency, and blame in ancient gender dynamics. Magic-wielding women, like Circe and Medea, epitomized subversion. Circe turned men into pigs, a literal metaphor for emasculation, while Medea's vengeance, killing her children, horrified yet underscored her autonomy. Their stories revealed deep-seated fears of female knowledge unchecked by male control. Though vilified, their agency was undeniable. Circe's island and Medea's potions became symbols of feminine rebellion, challenging the era's rigid gender boundaries through supernatural means. Motherhood in myths oscillated between sacred and terrifying. Thetis, dipping Achilles in the Styx to make him invulnerable, embodied protective sacrifice. Yet Scylla, a sea monster once a beautiful nymph, became a sailor's nightmare after a jealous transformation. These extremes reflected societal views: mothers as selfless caregivers, or, when wronged, forces of destruction. Thetis's love ensured glory for her son. Scylla's rage devoured the innocent, a dichotomy of maternal power's dual potential. Greek and Roman myths didn't just entertain, they shaped real-world gender norms. Athenian women, though excluded from politics, found parallels in Hera's domestic authority. Vestal virgins in Rome mirrored priestesses like Pythia, blending piety with influence. These narratives justified societal structures, from marriage laws to female seclusion. Yet heroines like Atalanta also inspired subtle resistance. By examining myths, we uncover how antiquity's stories reinforced and occasionally challenged the patriarchy that defined the Mediterranean world.